Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates, Tea Time Pilates with Charlotte. I hope you've had a really lovely day. I hope that you're getting into the swing of things now and you're finding lots of interesting things to do in the course of your day. I've created a little mind map of all the things that I want to learn. But I set myself the task of reading a couple of pages of a book and I can't even manage to get around to that. So I'm not even sure where the day goes. So I hope you're having a similar experience and the days are just going and you've got things to look forward to the next day. So hi, welcome to Pilates. So we're just going to do half an hour tea time Pilates, really just to release some tension and to transition from our hectic day into an evening kind of style pace. So we are going to begin in our Pilates positioning, going to make sure that we're standing nice and tall and that we're not sort of slumped over with our shoulders. So nice and tall, good distance between the shoulders and the ears. Our heels are together. We're going to take the heels apart so make an inverted V and make sure we've got our knees in alignment with the toes. We're then just going to rock the pelvis forward and back. So really enjoy that movement. I always say in all my classes, you know, Pilates should be fluid. Pilates should be like embracing. You should embrace the movements and you should enjoy them. At any time, if anything hurts, you must stop. If it's a challenge, push through the challenge. And then when you're ready, you're going to stop in the center. So that should be you, and it sort of feels like a tight corset around your tummy, around your core. It should be you in nice neutral spine. And this helps you to guide your best practice. You can do a double check by making a diamond shape with your fingers. I always say diamond and think, does it look very diamond-like? I don't know. I forgot to pay attention in maths. And then you pop your thumbs in your belly button and make sure that you can't see your bottom fingers. If you can see them, you just need to tilt back a little bit. And that should be you in a nice neutral spine. If that doesn't feel good, it's because anatomically we're all very different. So you just want to feel like it's quite comfortable and you can feel the body weight through the centre core of your body, centre line of your body. In Pilates, we like to think about our breath. If you put your hands on your rib area, you're going to take a lovely deep inhale through the nose, inhaling through the nose, and a lovely exhale. Using your breath, and you should really feel those rib area pushing against your hands, your fingers. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through your mouth, pushing your fingers away with your ribs. One more time. Lovely inhale through the nose. And a lovely exhaling through the mouth and feeling those ribs pushing your fingers away. So in Pilates, we like to come back to our breath at all times. Take your feet a little bit wider and then we're just going to move the body side to side. So I always call this one blowing in the wind. We're just blowing in the wind. We can pretend we're outside in January, February. It was really windy. I'd often say in my live classes, we're blowing in the wind, just as we just did in the car park because it's been so windy. And so we're blowing in the wind and we're just trying to make that mind-body connection that we're going to start to move. If you can then move your hips, so just moving those hips out with a little bit more intention, just to feel those working. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back to the centre and you're going to tip forward and back. Now you don't want your feet to move. Your feet are kind of super glued into position and you might sort of feel like you're going to tip forward. That's okay, that's where you should be. But you don't want to bring your heels or your toes up. They're staying nice and flat on the floor and you're just moving that body weight forward and back. So throughout the class I will be cueing inhale, exhale. If that gets confusing then please just keep breathing. You can just ignore all that and just breathe how it feels good to you. Alright, we're going to stop in the centre before we get too dizzy. You're going to bring the legs a little bit closer together and then you're just going to raise your heels. So you're raising the heels off the floor, you're walking through your feet. Now your feet are actually really, really important to all our body movement. And often in classes, we ignore the feet, but we're not going to in today's class. We're going to work through our feet. We're going to get that range of movement. So don't be afraid to really push through the balls of the feet as you bring the heels up. Now you're going to go a little bit quicker as though you were walking through a muddy puddle and you didn't want to get your shoes muddy. You go like a couple more for 4, 3, 2, 1 and stop in the centre. Alright, we're going to do a lovely side bend. We're going to go over to the right, back to the centre, to the left. Now as we're going over to the side, we're not moving the body weight forward or back, we're just tipping over to the side, and you should start to feel a lovely stretch in the obliques, the side of the waist, so it should feel good. As I say, everything in Pilates should feel fluid, and remember we've got a natural stopping point, I call it a natural catch, so just work with that natural catch. There's no need to push past it, things will complain in the morning. That feels amazing. One more time. And release. It's going to feel a lovely back bend now. It's going to bring the arm up, and just going to look behind your sort of headline, and you're just going to do a little hyperextension of the back. So it's a tiny hyperextension. The arms are reaching up to the ceiling, and we reach. And we reach. So don't let yourself fling with these movements. I always say anyone can fling themselves into the position, or almost everyone, but we are doing it with control and precision, or as much precision as you can get on a Tuesday afternoon after homeschooling and all other shenanigans. And last time. All right, you're going to have your arms crossed in front. You're going to open up the arms up into shoulder height. So we cross and we open. I always kind of think about this as being a little bit of mind gym. The brain's having to work. My brain's working quite hard, trying to remember that it's a cross in front. Open up the arms. Again, we're not rushing. We're not flinging the arms. We're going to bring in a wrist rotation. So the arms stay out, rotate the wrist and back in. Again, the wrists often don't get much attention, and they are often really hard at work day to day, so it's quite nice to give them a little bit of attention. One more time, we're going to keep those arms out to the side, so holding them out here. We're going to rotate around to the right. So we're going to rotate around to the right, back to the centre, to the left. So we're only going around with the head and the waist. The hips are staying square to me, and again, this should feel quite fluid. Now, this afternoon I went for a little run, and my body has decided to seize up quite a lot. So if you kind of feel like I don't look that fluid, that's why. My muscles are like, hello, we need a little lie down now. And a couple more. That's okay. Hopefully it will loosen up and it will feel amazing. I mean, Pilates is great for runners. It's great for all athletes. And we're going to stop and lower the arms. All right, now if you do have a foam block, I meant to say this at the beginning, if you have a foam block, then that is great, you can use that. Or if you've got a cushion, kind of a cushion a little bit sort of around the sides, then that's really great because it will help you to kind of stay really neat. In Pilates, what we like to do is keep everything working within the centre line of the body. When things sort of move out away from that centre line, it can put your neutral spine out, and it's not best practice, and you'll find that things hurt tomorrow. So we're going to do a lovely roll down, really lovely for the articulation of the spine and making us feel long and flexible. So you're going to put the block or your cushion between your legs. So I'm going to show you from the side, and what you're going to do is make sure you're in that neutral spine. So where we began with the pelvic tilts, making sure you're in neutral spine. Also going to make sure you've got a lovely soft knees. In Pilates, everything needs to be fluid, and the more relaxed you are, if you're standing like this, it's going to be really difficult. So the more relaxed you are, the better you'll practice. So you're going to start with the block between your thighs. You're going to take a lovely inhale to prepare and drop your chin. You're going to imagine you've got a beach ball out in front of you, and you're going to exhale, rounding your arms and your spine around your imaginary beach ball. You're then going to inhale there. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale all the way back up. So it's a lovely curve forward and a lovely curl back up. If you can try and think about engaging from that centre point of the core. So again, inhale, drop the chin. Exhaling, coming up and rounding over that imaginary beach ball. You're coming down towards your toes. If you can't reach your toes, that's no worries. Just wherever it feels good to you. And then you're very carefully, when you're ready, exhaling all the way back up. Now in Pilates, everything is slow and controlled, so we maximise the lengths of those muscles. Inhale, drop the chin. Exhaling, rounding over that imaginary beach ball. Inhale, hold. Now it should feel amazing. You should feel that your back is enjoying the movement. Your body should be in the center, so you're not tipping too far forward on the toes or the heels. When you're ready, exhaling all the way back up, making a lovely C shape with that spine. Lovely. All right, we're going to come to the center of your mat, wherever you might be in your house, and you're going to, again, keep the block in between, or your cushion in between your thighs. You're going to take a lovely inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, you're going to come up on your heels and back down. So we lift and we lower. So we're coming straight up and straight down. So this is going to be engaging your core, and it's going to be working your balance. So if you're off balance, that just means that your core is activating and your core is finding it quite hard. So we lift and we lower. We lift and we lower. I just, in the back of my head, suddenly thought, I wish I'd practiced this after my run, because my legs might not want to come into this heel raise after running earlier. So as you run, your core gets tired, and as you do Pilates, you should start to feel that your core does get tired. So you don't want to let your body sort of shift forward and use your shins to catch you. It should be up nice and tall. Let's do one more after this one. One more and release. All right, if you've got your block or your cushion, you can get rid of that. All right, let's get some warmth through the legs now. So we're going to go into a plie position. So plies are all about going down in a straight line. So we're going down and up. We're not tipping forward and we're not tipping back. So the body weight is nice and central. You also want to make sure that your knees are in alignment with the toes. So they go straight over the toes or towards the toes. You don't want them to round in or roll out, because things will complain in the morning, particularly the knees. So we're just going to start off by doing a few simple plies. Hands are in prayer position or heart position. Here we go. So we inhale, exhale, lower, inhale, up. So it's really important when we're in Pilates that we don't hold our breath. The breath is your powerhouse. The breath allows you to extend the movement, to go into a deeper range of movement. If it's challenging, go to your breath. You'll be surprised that you can do a few extra repetitions. At any time you are free, of course you are, I can't even see you, free to rest at any time. All right, we're going to do a couple more. And release. This time we're going to do a plie, point the toe. Plie, point the toe. So plie and point. Plie and point. So if this is working your balance. So you might feel that this is actually much harder than doing a simple plie. Nothing simple. And you're just pointing the toe. And it should feel like you're having to think about it and your balance is engaging. Now, I'm going to do a couple more. If you want to make it harder, after these two, you're going to take the leg out to the side. So we plie, lift, plie, lift. So you might find that this is too challenging, and actually lifting your leg up is actually feeling quite hard. So just go back to the toe tap. Don't hold the breath. So we inhale, exhale. Inhale, we're going to do 4 more. Just 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to your plies. Down, up, down, up. Now that was just to get some warmth through your legs. If you've been sat down for a lot of your day, then that should feel really lovely. Well, it might feel quite stiff. It will feel lovely afterwards, I promise. 2 more times. 1 more time. And release. All right, you're going to give it a little shake out. All right, we're going to do some bear planks. So, the bear plank is a lovely plank for those of us who don't particularly like full planks, and those of us who can really engage the core through the bear plank. So, it's easier said than done. So, how to do a bear plank? You come into your 4-point position, and that means you've got your knee in alignment with your hips, you've got your wrist under your shoulder. So your arms aren't out here, and they're not in here, they're just in line with your shoulder. I actually like to have my wrist slightly further ahead than my shoulder, but that's That's okay, just means that you need to get the position that feels good to you. You're going to, in this position, make sure you engage that core. So it's as though you're wearing really tight trousers and you're zipping that tailbone up and the core is tucked under. You're then, from this position, you're going to take an inhale, curl your toes under, you're going to exhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your knees off the mat. You're going to inhale, hold, and exhale, lower. And again, inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, hold, and exhale, lower. Now if that's too challenging for you, you can just stay in this position and you can just do an arm lift instead of doing the bear plank. But ideally, you're working hard, sure you are, and you're doing the bear plank. So it's inhale here, exhale, lift, inhale, hold. You might be slightly ahead in your bear plank, so that's absolutely fine. And then you lower. And again, inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, hold, and exhale, lower. They're all quite deceptive because you sort of do a couple, inhale, exhale, lift, too busy talking. You kind of do a couple and you're like, okay, that doesn't feel like much, and then soon you feel it, and lower. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, hold. You should feel a little quiver in that core. You should feel the arms working, and lower. Let's go again. Inhale, exhale, lift. I can feel it, and it should be a little quiver in the core. And you're going to exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. If you're finding it really challenging, then do rest where you can. And lower. We've just got 1 more time, just 1 more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. It's working that core, working those bodies. The body loves to move. Don't hold your breath. Exhale here and lower. Sit back onto your heels for a lovely child's pose. Oh, that feels amazing. Okay, so you should be feeling lovely and warm now. You should be feeling like your body's enjoying the movements, and everything should feel really fluid. If it's feeling stiff, it may be that you have sat down for too long or your body's not wanting to play along. That's absolutely fine. Just decrease your range of movement and go with it. So we're going to do some work on the side now. So we're going to come lying down onto the mat and we're just going to rest our head in our arm. And we're going to have our legs sort of bent. I kind of call it the fetal position. You've got your legs bent and you've got your ankles together, and you're resting your sort of weight is very securely in the centre line, so you don't really want to be shifting. You're not going to rotate the hips forward or back. And then all you're going to do from this point is you're going to take a lovely inhale and you're going to exhale, lift the leg up and the top leg out, and inhale back down. So the top leg comes out and in. There we go, so it goes out and in. Now, this is working your glutes. Now, if you are getting older, which we all are, your glutes get quite lazy and they can often put a strain on your back. So it's a really lovely exercise to do to strengthen the core. Now, if you're thinking that's not that challenging, Charlotte, I have more. You can then take your legs up in this position and take the legs out and in. So you've just kind of made your legs higher, which is making the range of movement bigger, which should challenge you more. Now, if you want to make it even harder, you can have your arms stretched towards the ceiling, and you will find that your balance is now engaged more and your core is having to work harder. So this is a great exercise to strengthen the glutes, your bottom. It's a great exercise to work the core. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We're going to do 2 more before your and my legs fall off. 1 more and release. Lovely. Just give it a little rub out. All right, now on your mat, if you could sort of make a banana shape with your body, which sounds bizarre, I know, but you don't want to have it straight. You kind of want to have your legs sort of bending forward. So if you've got a mat, sort of your sort of rectangle mat, you want the toes on the corner of your bottom of your mat. So that's really ideally what you would be in, the position you'd be in. You're going to make sure that your hips are stacked and that you're not going to rotate your hips forward and back, because your hips will hurt tomorrow, as will your lower back. So you're going to be in this position. You're going to take an inhale, and you're going to raise your top leg to hip height. So it's about here. You don't want your leg up here, and you don't want your leg down here. So it's hip height. We're going to take an inhale to prepare and flex the foot, and we're going to exhale forward, point the toes, inhale back. So we flex forward, inhale, point back. So it's a one-legged kick. Now ideally your toes are going to be in line with your hips, but if they're not, that's absolutely fine. You might not be able to get this range of movement. If you can go further than the line of your hips, you don't want to, because you've gone too far past the range, and you're more likely to come out of neutral spine. So we flex and point. Now if you want to make it harder, you can put your arm up, or you can put your hand on your thigh. What we tend to do in this position is we put our hand on the front, and then we rest our hand, all our weight on the front of our hand. So we point and flex. This time we're going to do 3 pulses in, 1 back. So we flex, 2, 3, and point. We flex, 2, 3, and point. We flex, 2, 3, and point. So I just had to move my hand from the front because I was really resting my weight on the front. I was cheating, how rude. 3, 2, 1, and point and lower. Alright, you're now going to straighten up the legs. So this time your legs are nice and straight, and you've got your heels together, or your feet together. I guess you can get your heels together. And then when you're ready, nice and straight again, you're not letting your hips roll. They are stacked and they're not going to move. So if I came to try and push you over, you wouldn't be easy to move. You're going to take an inhale, and you're going to exhale, lift the legs. Inhale back. So we lift and lower. Lift and lower. So this is an oblique move, so you should feel it in the side of your waist. We lift and we lower. Now again, you can make this harder by making sure you've got your hand on the top of your thigh, or if you're feeling really hardcore, you can reach up and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So that means that your head and your shoulders are coming off the mat, and that's extending the range of movement. So you should feel it in the side of your waist. In fact, if you put your fingers on the top of your waist, you will feel it. Let's do 2 more. We can do 2 more. 1 more. It's always 2 more, isn't it? And release. Alright, we're going to scissor the legs now, or flutter kicks. So you're going to point your toes, and you're just going to take the legs out wide. Now again, your hips are stacked, so they're not rolling, and you've got your hand on the top of your thigh so that you're not relying on the weight in your hand in front. And you should start to feel, just getting mine for balance, a nice stretch in that core, also in and out of thighs. So we've got 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Lovely work, everyone. Well done. Alright, we're going to come up, and we're going to go over to the other side. So when you're ready, you're going to changing over to the other side. We're going to do it all again. Who can remember what the first exercise was? I think I can remember. So you're resting your head in your hand, and you're making sure you're nice and straight with the body to begin with. You're making sure you're not rolling those hips. You're going to bend the knees so they're nice in front. You're going to have the heels together. You're going to make sure that the hips are planted into the floor, and you're not going to roll those hips. You can engage that center core. Inhale, exhale, lift the top leg up. Inhale, back down. So we lift and we lower. We lift and we lower. Now very quickly, you should feel that exercise in your bottom. That is working. That may feel like it's a little bit on fire. Not literally, but it's working. Now if you want to make this harder, you put your arm up to the ceiling and you open and close your legs, or you can bring your legs up higher and you open and close. So the top part of your body is not moving, It's all coming from those clams. So this is called the clam for obvious reasons, because clams open and close, as are we. This is where Pilates meets in the imaginary world. So hopefully this is feeling good. Hopefully this is feeling fluid. Hopefully this is taking your mind off the rest of the world right now. So I've just reminded you of it. 2 more. 1 more. And release. Lovely work. Well done. Just give that a little rub out. So we're going to go back to our one-legged kick. So this time we're going to make our sort of legs into a bit of a banana shape. We're also making sure that we're stacked on our hips and we're not rolling forward or back. We're going to lift the top leg, inhale, exhale, lift up to hip height. So it's not up here, it's hip height. You're going to flex the foot, hand in front of you, or ideally on top of your thigh or your hip area. You're going to take a lovely inhale, exhale, flex, inhale, point. So we flex, and we point, we flex, and we point. So we're not moving the top half of our body. It should feel lovely and fluid. It's kind of a wave of the leg. Flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. So it should feel really fluid. This again is great for the core, it's great for your hip flexors, great for the thighs, also lovely for the foot as well. The foot's flex and point. One more time, and we're going to do 3 pulses forward, 1 back. So we go 3, 2, 1, back. 3, 2, 1, and back. So the pulses are slightly more challenging. If an exercise can be made harder, I'm your girl. I'm always like, ooh, how can we make this more challenging? And again, it's challenging without the pulses. So if you need to drop out the pulse, just do the single leg. We got another 2 to go, just 2. We can do anything for 2. And 1 more, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and release. Oh la la, I can feel that working. All right, I hope you can too. So your legs are nice and straight now. Again, you're making sure you're not going to let those hips roll forward or roll back. If you do, they'll complain tomorrow. Now we're going to do our lovely leg raise for the obliques, the side of the waist. You're going to take an inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, lower, exhale, inhale. So your breath is your powerhouse. It sends oxygen in the exertion to do the move. It's also really nice to think about centering of the breath. Exhale, inhale. And it gives you something to think about in the move, so it's kind of distracts you from the fact that you're working really hard. So we exhale and inhale. Exhale again. If you want to make it harder, you lift up and lower, lift and lower. I realise on this side, for me, that's much easier on my left side, and that's really normal. Sometimes one side feels easier than the other. We're just going to do 3 and 2 and 1 and release. Lovely. All right, good job everyone. We're going to do the scissors. I hadn't forgotten. So again, we're making sure the hips are stacked. I'm sure I've forgotten something there. And then we're going to scissor the legs. I always think, as long as I haven't forgotten my 3 children, all is well in the world. Or my husband, I guess I should include him as well. But if I've got my children, if I've remembered them, all is well. A few Pilates movements forgotten isn't going to do any harm. So we're fluttering those legs. You should start to feel that activation. The hips aren't moving. It's just those legs. And boy, oh boy, am I working. We're going to do 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Right, we're going to go on to our backs. So we're going to go on to our backs now. And we're just going to do a quick Pilates sequence before we do our cool down. So when we're here, we're on the back, we're on our back. clearly, and we want to make sure that we're in a nice neutral spine. So we want to make sure that we're just sort of floating on top of the mat and that we're not pushing our kind of spine into the mat. That's going to hurt tomorrow, and you don't want to have an arch in your back either. That's going to hurt tomorrow. So your back is literally just floating on the mat. If you like, you can imagine you've got a marble in your belly button. You're going to rock your marble 12 o'clock towards your head, 6 o'clock towards your toes, and you rock the marble forward and back and just enjoy that pelvic tilt, because again, as we are kind of getting older and we spending a bit more time potentially in the chair, our pelvis and our hip area stiffens up. So this is actually a really nice pelvic roll. And then when you're ready, you're going to stop in the centre, and in the middle of your clock face the marble stays in the centre, and that's you in your nice neutral spine, and that should feel really nice and like quite tight. So we're going to pop our hands on the front of our thighs, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a Pilates sit-up. So when we do this, we really want to make sure that we're not flinging. So I'll just show you what it is. You're going to engage that centre part of your core, and that's really important, that the movement comes from the centre, because that way you protect your neck, okay? So it's really important as well. Actually, I forgot to mention that you need to have your heels quite close to your bottom. If you've got them out here, then you're probably likely to get a hamstring cramp, and that's uncomfortable and unpleasant, so we can avoid that with having the heels close to your bottom. You're going to, what we're going to do, put your hands at the bottom of your thighs. You're going to inhale, and as you inhale, you're going to sort of tuck your chin into your chest. You're going to exhale. As you exhale, you engage that centre core, and you're going to bring your hands towards your knees. You're going to inhale, hold, and then you're going to exhale, lower. And I don't know if you can see it on camera there, but my core was really shaky. So inhale, exhale, lift. Now you might not be able to get this high. You might be just down here or even there, and that's absolutely fine. You're going to inhale, hold, and then you're going to exhale, lower. And you really want to make sure you're looking through the middle of your knee line, and you're not sort of letting your head roll back or look around. Inhale. Exhale, lift. From that centre core, you're bringing your hands all the way up towards your knees, and if you put your hand there, you'll feel a deep connection, and you also shouldn't feel the core popping up. It's kind of tucked under. And release. And again, inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold. And exhale, lower. And again, inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold, and exhale, lower. We're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to add on for this is our final sequence. Inhale, exhale, lift, inhale, hold, and exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, exhale, lift. Really think about that connection. It is a coordination thing. We connect with that core, and that means that your neck is being pulled up from the core, and it's not flinging up, because if it flings up, it's going to feel uncomfortable tomorrow. And exhale, release. Oh la la. So the next part of our sequence is we're going to take a lovely inhale, of course, to prepare. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the legs up into tabletop. So that means our knees are in alignment with the hips. They're not too far away, and they're not too close towards the chest. All we're going to do is we're going to have our arms out to the side. We can have them down. You can have them in true position or down to the side. You're going to take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to drop the toe towards the mat and lift up. Exhale, take it down and lift up. So you're just dropping the toes. I'm just doing a little check that my body's working in the right way. Now this should all come from the hip, so it's here. So you're not sort of just flinging your leg, it's controlled. You're pushing it down and we lift back up. So we're working the leg and we're working the core, which is working really hard to lower the leg. So we call this a toe tap, and it is quite challenging. You don't need me to tell you that. I'm sure you can feel. I think in Pilates we don't do flashy moves, but we do really like deep core moves that are really deceptive, and they're really, really hard. One more time. If it's not hard, then well done, you're doing great. And inhale, hold. So just hold it there and kind of imagine you've got a tennis ball between your knees. Now, if that was too hard, or it was just about right, you can stay with the single knees. Otherwise, single leg. Otherwise, you're going to drop both toes down and back up to tabletop. So both toes are dropping towards the mat and back to tabletop. Now, you don't want your back to arch. So as soon as you feel that arch in the back, you've gone too far. So you just want to drop. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Let's do 2 more. Just 2. If you need to rest, then you rest. 1 more time. And back to tabletop. Hug the knees into your chest and rock side to side. I just realised, apart from your child's pose, this is your second rest. Oh my goodness. You probably switched off and gone and had a cup of tea by now, thinking this is way too much for tea time Pilates. Alright, now we're going to put that sequence together and then we're going to do a cool down stretch. Now I promise this little sequence is well worth it because it really works the whole of your body and you will feel amazing as long as you connect with that core and you don't fling yourself into the position. So the trick is to do it nice and slowly. So you're going to make sure you've got your neutral spine, so you're just floating on top of the mat and you're not gluing your lower back to the floor. You're not sort of digging it into the floor because it will complain. You're going to then take a lovely inhale and bring your legs up to tabletop. You're going to have your hands beside your ears and they're not going to be doing the work. They're just kind of there to look pretty and to guide you. So your legs are here on tabletop. You're going to, so the move is this. You're going to inhale here. You're going to exhale up into your Pilates sit up. You're going to exhale, drop the knees. Inhale back. Exhale lower. So that's the move. It's a challenge. So if this is too much, you go back to dropping single legs. All right. So that is really challenging. It's just, you know what I'm like. If I can make it harder, I will. So we are here. Legs are in tabletop. Joining with me. We're just going to do a few and then we're going to stretch. So inhale here. Exhale, nod the chin. Inhale, hold. Exhale, drop the toes. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower. And again, inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, up. Exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, back. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, come up into flexion. Exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. And again, last time, just 1 more. We can do it for 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, lifting up into flexion. Inhale, hold. Exhale, drop the toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hug the knees into the chest. And if it feels good, rock side to side. Lovely, lovely. Well done. If you joined in with those 4, well, we added those 2 moves together, well done, because it's a challenge. It's hard. Okay, so we're going to go into the stretch. So we're going to take the legs long away from the center line of the body and we're going to point the toes and flex the feet. We're going to point the toes and flex the feet. Point and flex. So again, we're really working through the feet, really the foundation of all our work, our feet. And as we go through our Pilates, tea time Pilates, I'll do some more work with the feet because they are so important. I do that in my live classes, and balance as well, because that as we get older is also in decline. Old and decline is not something that we should have in a sentence. 1 more time and release. Alright, you're just going to roll your legs out to the side. And you're just going to let the weight of your head fall into the mat. You're going to let the weight of your bottom fall into the mat. And you're just going to hold it there. And if you like, you can wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. We're going to think about our breath now. I like to think about inhaling, deep inhale through the core, inhaling good health and exhaling stress. So we'll do a few deep breaths of inhaling good health, exhaling stress. So join in with me, otherwise if you want to, you can just, if you're comfortable, just resting on the mat. So taking a lovely deep inhale through the nose, inhaling good health, and exhaling. And again, let's do a lovely deep inhale, inhaling good health. And exhaling all that daily stress. One more time, deep inhale, inhaling good health. And exhaling all that stress. And just kind of connect with your body right now where you are on the mat. How are you feeling? Are you engaging those glutes? Let those bottoms sink into the floor. Try not to grip anything, try not to grip the mat, just let the weight of your body falling into the mat. Thinking about all that health and goodness that you've done in the last 40 odd minutes of bringing some movement with your body. Stronger and fitter for tomorrow, that's the plan. So when you're ready, you're going to bring one knee in towards your chest and you're just going to hold it where it feels good. This is a hip flexor stretch. We did lots on the hips, one-legged kick, the toe taps that we did, all coming from the hips. So we're having a lovely stretch in the hip flexor. So again, try not to grip your knees, just hold it where it feels good. If you like through this, you can close your eyes and just go through the movement. And that feels amazing. I feel a lot less stiff than I did at the beginning. And hopefully that was, you could tell that in the video. And then when you're ready, or not, perhaps it was seamless. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop this knee across the center line of your body over to the other side. And then if you have any back issues, keep looking in the same direction as your knee. Otherwise, you're going to turn your head and your arms in the opposite direction for a lovely spine twist. And you should feel yourself growing longer and taller. I know that when I don't do Pilates, I feel like I have shrunk and my body kind of really needs to stretch out and work through the movements. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back to the center, slow and controlled. You're going to take the leg long to meet the other leg. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring that other knee in towards the chest. So I hope that you're still joining me in the stretch and you haven't had to rush off to do one of 100 jobs you've still got left to do in your evening. Hopefully we've all been able to take this time to have a little space and a little body movement. Feels amazing. I've been looking forward to it all day. Pilates, I always think I'm only one Pilates session away from a good mood. And then when you're ready, you're going to take this leg across the center line of your body. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring the arms and your head facing in the opposite direction. And hopefully this has lifted your spirits too. It really does put me in a good mood. My family actively encourage me to do Pilates if I'm huffling around the house, or if I get the Hoover out, then my family know that we're in trouble because I take all my aggression out of the Hoover. So they're like, oh, Pilates might be fun. And then we're going to go back to the centre. I'd be interested to know how you take out your frustrations. Mine is through hoovering. And you're going to have your knees together, and then when you're ready, you're going to drop those knees out to the side, put the bottoms of your feet together, and you're going to do a lovely stretch for inner outer thighs. And just here, just remember to not engage your bottom and your hips, sinking into the mat. And just let the knees fall out where they want to go. And again, this is a little opportunity to do a little check-in with your body. How are you feeling? Are you feeling balanced? Is one side stiffer than the other? It's always for me my left side. I think I run slightly more on my right leg, and my left side often feels a lot more stiffer. It feels stiffer than the right. Enough about me, hey, this is about you guys. So we're taking the legs out to the side. Lovely stretch of the inner outer thighs. Just taking a minute to breathe through the stretch. Alright, so if you've done all that, you've done amazingly well, and thank you. So you're going to bring those knees back to the centre. You're going to drop your knees over to face me. so that you're now on your side. When you're ready, you're going to come up to the side, so you're now into sitting, and then coming up to standing. I always end all my classes with coming up to standing, so that you can get a little bit of blood flow going before you get on with doing whatever it is you're going to be doing. Hopefully you're going to be doing something fun, board game, I don't know, evening walk. So you're going to make sure you've got your knees in alignment with the toes. You're going to take a lovely inhale, drop the knees, exhale, reach, inhale, exhale, reach, grow taller. One more time, inhale, exhale, and shake it out. You did it. Thank you so much. Well done, team. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday for more Tea Time Pilates. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you thought it was too challenging or too easy, or if it was just about right. I always say in my live classes, any feedback, let me know, but only if it's good feedback. Okay, so lovely to see you. See you soon. Bye now.